Hey everyone. Recently, I decided that I wanted to change the headlamp in my bug out bag, get something smaller, more portable, and something that charges. I've been using this headlamp, and I've had this headlamp for probably 5 years. Little cheap. I think it was like $15 when I got it, 15, 20 bucks. And it works great, but it usually ends up in my truck or outside of my bug out bag. And it's pretty heavy. So I wanted something that's lighter, something I can charge, something that's going to be a little bit more convenient. I might end up having to buy another one of these as well because I have a feeling this is going to end up getting taken out of my bag quite a bit too. But in this video, I want to go over why I chose this one, some of the specs, some of the things that it can do, test the different modes out and all of that. And then I'll do a demonstration of how it worked outside the different modes. So first off, with the functions, you've got the charging port here at the bottom. It's just a micro USB charging port. And like I said, this was one of the main reasons I got this, because I can use this battery that I carry in my bug out bag from my Goal Zero with my 3.5 watt solar panel and just plug that in and charge it. Whereas this one, it takes the battery, so I would have to actually carry an external battery charger. This one does last quite a bit longer, but you know you're sacrificing as far as weight and functionality and all that. So with this one, it's got the charging port on the bottom, and then it's got a bunch of different modes. If you just click this first button on my right here, it's the low level red light, and then if you click it twice, you've got the high level red light, and then if you click it 3 times, you've got the strobing, the safety red light. The reason the red light is good is because it preserves your night vision. Your eyes don't have to adjust. It could be good inside a tent. Say you don't want to bug somebody that's sleeping. You're reading a book, you're reading a map or whatever, and you want to drive somebody nuts that's sleeping. Military uses, they use it in submarines and night reading maps and stuff like that, and bunkers and all that. So it's good to have. The other button, the one on the left, if you just hold it, it goes to the low level, then the medium level, then the high level. And I won't point this right in the camera. And then while it's on, if you press and hold it, it goes to the turbo mode. Now, some of the reviews I've seen complain that the turbo, it says it's 360 lumens, but only in turbo mode, and turbo mode only stays on for 30 seconds, and then it kind of fades down. It doesn't like switch down, but it fades down. To me, and as you'll see when I demonstrated this, there isn't all that much difference between the 360 lumens and the 190 lumens, the high mode. I mean, there is, but it's not enough for me to really complain about it. Now, this flashlight isn't as bright as my older one. This one I think is 1800 lumens, but in a bug out situation, or even when you're hiking, stuff like that, I don't need to light up the whole forest or light up the whole surroundings. And this is plenty good enough to be able to see where you're going. Another good thing about this, as you'll see in the video, is it's got a wide range. It spreads out pretty wide so you can see around you. Whereas this one, it is adjustable where you can pull this in and out. But once you pull it all out, it's just not, it doesn't have the range that this one does. Now, if it's off and you take this left button and you hold it, it goes straight into turbo mode. Now, if it's on and you press and hold this button, it will go into SOS mode, basically safety mode, where it flashes the SOS sign. So you can, maybe put this in a tree or something if you're lost. Now, if you press and hold the left button while it's off, it turns on the auxiliary light. And the auxiliary light is basically, it's in between the low and the medium. The auxiliary light is 20 lumens, basically. And I'll go through the specs as far as how long they say everything lasts. I did leave this light on the high mode. It says that it lasts for about 5 hours. I did leave this on the high mode, and it was almost about 6 hours when it finally started to die down. So it looks to me like the specs that they say are correct. And then finally, there was another review, one more review that I read that talked about how you can't lock it out. and you put it in your bag, your backpack, your bug out bag, whatever, and it would automatically turn on if it wasn't packed right. If something hit it, it's easy to turn on. But all you have to do with that is if you hit both of these switches at the same time, just click them like that, it puts it in lock mode, which means you can't turn anything on by the click of a button. What you have to do is hit both of those buttons at the same time again, and you can adjust everything with that. So as far as the specs on this light, the turbo mode, the really bright one, like I said, it only lasts for about 30 seconds, but that's 360 lumens. It's 1650 CD, which I'm not sure exactly what good CD compared to bad CD is, but the CD is basically the center of the light, the brightness of the center of the light, whereas lumens is the whole surrounding. The high mode, which is the one I tested quite a bit, and honestly, it's perfectly bright enough for anything you're doing. And depending on, if you wanted to keep a low signature, maybe you just use that red light to walk around. It's going to attract a lot less attention than the white light. But anyway, on the high level, it's 190 lumens and it lasts about 5 hours. Like I said, I think mine, when I tested it, it lasted about 6 hours. I'm sure over time that's going to go down. But for me, it lasted about 6 hours. This is 950 CD. The mid-level is 38 lumens and it lasts about 8 hours. This is, if you are trying to conserve energy, this is enough light to get around, to walk around, to do the things you need to do, maybe around camp or, walking slowly, but it's not enough light really. It's almost like I wish I had more light type situation, but if you're trying to conserve energy, it'll get the job done. Now on the very low end, this is only 1 lumen, and this is more for if you're reading a map or if you're in camp and you're trying to keep your signature low, and you're doing stuff that's really close to your face. That's what this mode would be for. The auxiliary light is 20 lumens. So like I said, it's in between the low and the medium. With this on constantly, this will last 6 hours, a little over 6 hours. Probably close to 7 hours, I'm thinking, with the way I tested this out. The red light on low will last 68 hours. This won't, it's great that it'll last that long, but unless you're staying in one spot and reading a book for 68 hours, it's not going to be that useful. But the high one will last for about 8 hours, and you could actually navigate with this red light. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because it's not that white light, but you could actually navigate with this. Also on the specs, it says it's 1 meter impact resistance, which I believe that's like 5 feet. So basically, if you're putting it on your head and you accidentally drop it, it's going to be fine. The IP rating on this is 66, and basically that means that you take the two numbers. The first number means that it's dust resistant, meaning it's good for hiking and stuff like that. The second number means that it's water jet resistant and high seas resistant. None of us are probably going to be going on the high seas, but this basically means to me that you can wear it in a rainstorm, you can wear it in snow, and you're not going to damage it. So the headlamp itself, it is made of plastic, but it seems to be pretty durable. It does tilt. I think it's like 75 degrees, so you can actually put this on the bill of your hat and wear it that way, or under the bill of your hat. And with the charging port here, it seems to be fairly snug. I could see maybe if it's not packed correctly, maybe you have it connected to your solar panel or your external battery, and maybe you put it in your bag somewhere. I could see how this could come out and it wouldn't charge. But you just have to be careful with how you store this. Maybe even a little rubber band around there just to make sure that it stays where it's supposed to be. But it's not terrible. It could be a little bit better though. But I guess it is what it is with this kind of setup. So with that, I want to go outside and show you how it worked at night. Keep in mind with this that I filmed it on my camera and you don't get the full effect. It's almost like it's a little bit brighter than than you can tell on the camera, because it doesn't show you the complete range of everything that it brightens up. And it actually is a little bit brighter than it looks on the video. So let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, so right now we're on the low set, or the medium setting of the flashlight, and I'm about 10 feet away from the fence right there, and the chicken coop over there is probably 20 yards away, so 60 feet. And then the low level, you really can't see it except for in front of your face. You can't see it on the camera, but in front of your face, it'd be good for like in your tent or close up, kind of like it's like with a full moon out. That's the medium setting. The high setting, and that's not the turbo, that's just the high setting. With this, see, you can see the chicken coop over there. You can see the fence, so you can see pretty far away. Got the barn over there, you can barely see the horses. And if you press and hold the button, you get the turbo mode, which is a little bit brighter, and you can see things a little bit more clear. And then the red low, you really can't see much except for right in front of your face, but this would be good inside a tent if you didn't want to bother anybody. The red high is a little bit better. You can't really see that far, but it illuminates right around you. So the low you can't really see. The medium you can see pretty well, and the high is pretty bright. And this is, I believe, like almost 200 lumens, whereas if you hit the turbo, it goes up to about 360. All right, so as you can see, I mean, the different levels are great depending on what the situation is. The fact that this weighs about 2 ounces, they say it's 1 ounce on the website. The actual headlamp itself is 1 ounce, but the strap also weighs 1 ounce. So about 2 ounces is what you're getting with this. It's compact, it's going to store easily. This one is about 10 ounces and it takes up quite a bit of room. With the batteries, I would have to actually carry an extra battery charger because I've had this so long, I don't have the external adapter. Plus, that only plugged into the wall anyway, so there's no way camping or bugging out or anything like that I could be able to charge these. So I'd have to either carry a battery charger or a couple extra batteries. With this one, you can use it during the night. Once you go to bed, maybe plug it into this battery, and then you're good to go for the next day. The next day, what's cool about the solar panels, you just put it on your backpack or point it towards the sun and plug this battery in. So a pretty cool headlamp, especially for the price. It's pretty comparable as far as the 360 lumens or the 190 lumens on the high mode. Is pretty comparable to, a little bit more actually, than a lot of the other ones that are this size. So if you want the big bright one, then you're going to have to go with something like this. Even ones that are more expensive than this one right here. But this one right here is fantastic. It does exactly what I need. I don't think in a bug out situation you're going to need that big, huge, lighten up the whole forest, like I said. So it's a pretty cool headlamp. Below, I'll leave the link to where you can find this. I'll leave the link to it on Amazon, where you can get these, as well as their website. They've got a lot of information on their website just on this one itself, so you can read all about that and decide for yourself. They also have everyday carry flashlights. They have the bigger headlamps like this. I believe they're like $60 that have the battery in it. It's going to be heavier, but if that's something you want, they've got quite a few products, so make sure and check them out over at NiteCore. But anyway, I appreciate it, everyone. Make sure and subscribe to the channel below. We will talk to y'all later.